What is up, my Inklings? Mr. Ink here, and welcome back to Pikmin. In the last episode, we made our way into the Forest Navel. We got ourselves 2 more ship parts and found Blue Pikmin. And in this episode, we are going to make our way back into the Forest of Hope to collect the 2 ship parts that we can only get thanks to the Blue Pikmin because they can go in the water. So let's hop right on in. So thankfully the 2 ship parts in this area are not too far from the base. So I'm going to focus on, there's one that'll probably take a little bit longer to get than the other one. So I'm going to focus on getting that one first. And then we'll focus on getting the other one. So they're both pretty close to the base, thankfully. So we don't need to worry too much. Alright, so we'll take all of our blue Pikmin out. We'll get them to start working on the one... there's one gate that needs to be taken down that's just over here. Right here. There we go. Yeah, like I said, they're like quite literally like really close to our base. So just let them work on breaking that down. And while they do that, I'm going to get a bunch of reds and they can start building one of the bridges to get the other ship part. So, yeah. This might not be a very interesting day necessarily, just because we'll get 40 out. Just because it's a lot of like just waiting for stuff to get built. I mean, we'll probably do a little bit of battling enemies. I mean, as you can see, the dwarf bulb orbs have returned because we came back to this area. So I'm not going to worry too much about building up our numbers because we're going to be able to get more, a lot of Pikmin in the impact site. We're going to be returning there and, oh yeah, sheer grubs. Those are fun. I love how they just like randomly appear from the ground. So yeah, we're not going to worry I'm not going to worry like a ton about getting our numbers up just because, it's just not something that's super... when we go to the impact site, we'll be able to get a ton more... Oh, sweet. Okay. So, looks like that one barrier has been taken down. So we'll grab the blue Pikmin. And they can start working on the other bridge. That was quick. I guess it's a white gate, so it doesn't take too long. Oh, come on, really? The reds? Okay. Get out of the water. Okay, there we go. Okay. Ugh. Of course, the red Pikmins friggin' decided they wanted to wander into the... They decided they wanted to wander their way into the base. Alright, so we want to get all of the blue Pikmin so we can start breaking down the other bridge, and then we'll get the reds and start breaking down that other gate. Look at that. That's already done. Nice. Those things there, those are wogpoles. They are I believe the juvenile version of a Wollywog, which is one of the most annoying enemies in the entire game, and you'll learn to see when we find them in the Forest Navel. We haven't seen them yet, but we will. There we go. By the way, the Forest Navel, I just learned this recently. The Forest Navel is a cave. I always thought that it was like a really dark forest. I don't know why. I just always thought it was like a really dark forest. I think it's just because of the fact that like, I always just assumed that like there were trees there, but they were just like really like dense. And so you couldn't really see them. That's why it's all like black and whatever. But no, as it turns out, it's a cave. I never knew that. That was the first time I'd ever learned about that. Weird, I know. All right, so anyways, we're gonna get the yellow or the red Pikmin over here. Start working on breaking down this gate here, and then we can, yeah. Oh, I guess we'll get some Pikmin over there and start eating up the nectar. We want as many flowers as we can, so the more flowers we have, the better. Let them suck that guy up. Oh wow, there's a lot in that grass. Holy cow! I don't actually know if, like, the number of nectar you get from grass is completely random or not. My guess is probably they are, but I have no idea, to be honest. Alright. Well, we got basically 50 red Pikmin. And you can see there's a thing there. That's our next boss. So we wanna be very, very careful with that guy. That guy can do a lot of damage to Pikmin. Alright. So, I guess we'll make our way back over here and see how the Pikmin are doing on that bridge. They're making their way. They kind of, you know, I feel like this is kind of a good example of, like, kind of, you know, divide and conquer in Pikmin games. You know, you really want to, like, you know, divvy up your squad to do different tasks. That's kind of the whole thing with Pikmin is multitasking. Multitasking is a huge part of Pikmin as a whole. So, okay, hello. Yeah, like that's a big part of a lot of. I mean, it's a big part of RTS games, which is what this game is, or real-time strategy, which means it uses like actual, like it's not like in-game time, but like actual like time passes by within the game. So yeah, it's a big part of these kinds of games is multitasking and kind of divvying up your squads or whatever, doing multiple things at once. So yeah. Oh, sweet. The bridge has been built. So I guess we'll get the... Whoa, hello, camera. We'll get the Pikmin over here and get this thing. I found my Sagittarius. My son gave this to me as a present. It brings to mind visions of my son back on planet Hokotate. Oh, to be back there right now. Fun fact, actually, this Sagittarius is my sign. I'm not the kind of person that, like, believes in, you know, astrological signs or whatever. It's like, oh, you know, your astrological sign determines your, you know, your personality or whatever. Like, I'm not the kind of person that believes in that sort of thing, but I do. That is Sagittarius is my sign. I was born in December 14th. My birthday's 11 days before Christmas, and so yeah. So as a result, Sagittarius is my astrological sign. All right. So now that the bridge has been taken down, I guess we'll grab our Pikmin and we will start working on getting the other part that's here. So yeah, I guess we'll go check out what's going on here. And actually, this is good because we're at halfway through the day, so we're making good time. This thing here, this is the armored cannon beetle. This is our next. There we go. So we just throw a Pikmin into his little snout thing here, and it opens up his soft back, and we just throw a bunch of our Pikmin on there. Oh. Okay. Well, sweet. We got our part back. We need to be very, very careful because he shoots boulders out, and it can crush our Pikmin, and that's very bad. Sagittarius, this was a gift from my son. He must be very worried about me. I've never covered 10 out of 30 parts. If I can find just 2 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. So yeah, we're already almost ready. Uh-oh. Ooh. All right, so. Oh, God. Come on. There we go. I think oh, no, I didn't lose a Pikmin somehow, surprisingly. I thought I did. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Okay, well, actually, no. Okay, fine. I guess you can. Alright. Okay, I want the blue Pikmin to take that guy back. But here's the next ship part. At last, my radiation canopy. This turns the harsh radiation of deep space into soft infrared rays that are easy on the body. I'll sleep like a baby once I get this back to the ship. So you're just telling me, Olimar, that you've just been exposing yourself to radiation waves for for 5 days since you landed on this planet? Okay, sure. So I'll get the blue Pikmin over here and then carry the body back for that, because that'll give us a ton of Pikmin, and blue is probably the one that we need the most right now. But since we have, you know, I guess from now, I guess we'll just work on getting our numbers up a little bit, trying to get our numbers up as much as we can. Again, we're gonna get a ton of numbers back up once we get to the impact site. But you know, having our numbers up as much as we can is always good. So we'll get the red Pikmin to kind of focus on the pellet posies, and yep. And there we go. There's the other ship part. So the Guard of Hope is now completely finished. We've done all that we can do in here. Radiation canopy. I'll have to inspect it later to make sure it hasn't cracked. I'll be in for even more trouble if I have any radiation leaks. You already have been exposing yourself to the radiation, Olimar. Like, what do you mean I'll be in trouble if there's any radiation leaks? You have the fact that this turns the radiation into infrared rays, doesn't that mean that you basically just have been exposing yourself to radiation? And by the way, the Geiger counter that's he in the ship where Olimar's like, I don't really know what that does. I'm pretty sure that's a radiation gauge. So yeah, it really goes to show that Olimar does not know a thing about his ship. I've now recovered 11 out of 30 parts. If I can find just one more, I should be able to increase my ship's capability. Yeah, we're already almost ready to enter the next area of the game. And we've only found 2 parts in the forest naval, and we're almost ready to open up yet another area. But, you know, hey, it gives us lots of options, I guess. I'm just going to go through the areas one by one, by the way. I'm not going to enter the 3rd area until, or I guess technically the 4th area, because we have the impact site, until we finish the forest naval, so. Alright, so we'll send the blue Pikmin, bring this guy back. And then we'll let the red Pikmin take the pellets. Okay, sure. Thank you, game, for just making a bunch of those Pikmin just miss completely. That's great. Seriously? Okay, there we go. Good God. Alright, fine, whatever. The reds, you can take this. You can take these things back. Oh. Did one of those already grab? I guess one of those already grabbed the yellow pellets. Whatever. If I look at my radar... Oh, there's a couple sprouts over there. Oh, yeah, that's from when we lost a bunch of Bulborb, or lost a bunch of Pikmin to that one Bulborb. That's right. I forgot about that. That thing there that just passed and ran away, that is an iridescent flint beetle. If you can manage to throw some Pikmin onto its back, it will flip over, and it will drop, like, pellets and all sorts of other goodies. Just like that. They can't die. That's the one thing to note about iridescent flint beetles. They cannot die, but they can... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, you can't kill them, but you can get a ton of stuff from it, though, if you're able to flip it over a bunch of times. So, yeah. Alright. Alright, so actually I'll drop these guys off here. I'm gonna go run and get those sprouts real quick, just because we're almost out of daylight. And then we'll call it there. Yeah, we're basically done. I will be honest, I'm going to kind of give a warning. The next day is going to be really, really boring, because I'm literally just going to do nothing but collecting Pikmin. So it's a lot of growing Pikmin. I mean, I will, I'll be up. There is one ship part that we need to get, so we do actually have to go back to the impact site, because it is a ship part, and it's one of the ones that's required. But, thankfully we don't have a ton of 99. Uh-oh. One Pikmin. Okay, well, we'll go get that one then. He got stuck on a wall. You idiot! Where is he? There he is. You idiot. Get back here. Steve, you grew a bulb. Every single Pikmin that gets, left behind is always Steve. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter where it is, any of that. Alright, I guess we'll get the we'll get the yellow Pikmin to take that pellet back. We can kind of work on getting get our blue numbers up. You know, we want to get our blue numbers up. I know there's not a whole lot to say here. This is kind of the boring part of Pikmin. You know, where you got like just a bunch of, you know, random gathering and stuff like that. All right, I'm just gonna make sure that there's no Pikmin that gets stuck somewhere because we don't want to lose any of them due to sunset. That's the worst way to lose Pikmin. Okay, I think we're good. All right, this is. Oh, what the heck is this enemy? Actually, I don't remember. I'll put it up on screen right now because I actually don't remember the name of this enemy. But this thing carries nectar. If you manage to hit it out of the air, it will drop nectar. But yeah. All right, perfect. No sprouts need to be plucked. None of that. 99. Uh-oh. Why does it say 99? Why does it say 99? Oh, the yellow Pikmin. Whoopsies. All right, well, we'll put them all back. And, I mean, it doesn't really matter because the... Doesn't really matter because the ship part... Like, yeah, like it doesn't really matter because they're all safe in the base, but we'll just put them all back anyways. Just... It makes me feel good. But we got our numbers up quite a bit, especially blue. We're up to almost 100 blues, which is good. I think actually we might have more blues than any other color. I think it's because thanks to that armored cannonball corpse that we brought back. But yeah, sun sets on yet another day. Another day comes to an end. Continuing the trend of getting 2 parts a day, other than the very first day, that is not going to last because there's only because there's only one part in the impact site. So unfortunately, we're only able to get 1 ship part. But yeah, I mean, also like in the later areas, we're not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to get 2 parts in 1 day for the entire, like every single day. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But it is what it is. 6 days since impact, the Pikmin always carry their prey back to the onions. Close observation indicates that taking food pellets to the onions of the same color results in the release of larger numbers of Pikmin seeds. I've also found ways to group Pikmin by color. I can hold A to grab one, then press B to swap it out, or I can grab A to grab one for a moment, or press C to dismiss them into like color groups. I'm pretty sure I already mentioned this before, but if I didn't, I'll just say it now. The whole holding A to grab one and pressing B to swap it, that was not existent in the GameCube version of the game. That was something that got added to the Wii version, and I think is also in the Switch version. I could be wrong, but it's at the very least not in the GameCube version, and it makes being able to grab colors of Pikmin so much easier, because in the GameCube version, you would just have to just dismiss them and then grab all the colors that you want. So, yeah. Okay, no, we have 99. That's good. We didn't lose any Pikmin, which is very, very good, and we got a lot of Pikmin. Our red numbers are back up, our blue numbers are way up. Yellow, we didn't really do a whole lot of, but we didn't really need them, so that's fine. But alright, we shall save. Alright. And this is where I will call this episode here. So, yeah, thank you all so very much for watching. In the next episode, we are going to enter the impact site. We will get the 1 ship part that is there and also get our Pikmin numbers way, way up. And I will see all of you in the next episode. Bye-bye.